I will be trying to complete one of the most difficult challenges in Football Manager at the moment, taking over Sheffield Wednesday for one season, a football club who are sleepwalking to relegation under a chairman who hates them and no money in the bank. By the way, this is the squad at the start of the game. As you can see, there are such a little number of players that we have greyed out players in the squad at the start of the game. And what does the board want me to do with this squad? Keep them up, of course. And with my relegation record standing at nearly 100%, I'm sure I'm the best man to keep them up. In order to complete this challenge, I have downloaded an updated database, which I have put in the description below, in case you want to ruin your mental health, like I'm doing right now. Honestly, what am I doing? What am I doing? If you're interested to know what my transfer budget is this season, it's a big fat zero, and we're also overspending on the wage budget. In terms of the squad size, it's currently standing at 11 players, which means that we're not going to be able to register the minimum amount for the championship. My first team meeting with the new squad was actually very good, so a lot of them were very, very pleased to finally meet me for the first time. That wasn't until I told them that I think we're going to struggle this season, and they all hate me already. Knowing that I had a very, very thin squad and I had no transfer budget to work with, I of course asked the chairman if he can give me some funds. Of course he said no. And times are tough when I tried to bring in Jed Steer for a bit of experience at the back end. I still couldn't afford him despite offering the lowest wage I could possibly offer a footballer. Morecambe also put in a bid for one of my players on loan. Somebody said you was dead. I finally made one of the best decisions of my life because I reduced the scouting budget knowing that we weren't going to afford anyone anyway to increase the transfer budget, and then I was able to bring in 2 players. So joining our threadbare squad is Jed Steer. We have managed to get the signing over the line and he joins our squad because my only goalkeeper is 18 years old. We've also signed Chris Martin on a free Wait, the Coldplay singer? Hang on, wait, something's not right. We've also signed Chris Martin, the striker, on a free transfer, and he brings a wealth of championship experience, although he has been plying his trade in League 2 recently. Cool, I tell you what, Proudie, those are some inspiring signings. In terms of the formation that I'm going to start off the season with, we're going to set up in a 4-3-3 with one defensive midfielder being Nathaniel Chalobah, and I'm going to set up in a fluid counter-attack style because we don't have that many players, but we do have a lot of pace on the break. He says as he's just signed Chris Martin to play up front for him. It did work wonders in the first game at home to Middlesbrough as we lost by 1-0 to start off the season with a defeat. However, Nathaniel Chalobah scored a fantastic worldie to give us all 3 points away at Derby. It's exactly what I'd be saying if Ryan Brewster hadn't scored 2 goals before that. After 2 defeats in 2 games, I hit the panic button and signed Tyler Dibbling from Southampton on loan for the season. Obviously a very highly rated youngster, although I don't think in FM it actually translates to that. And we also signed Matteo Joseph from Leeds United on loan for the season, another striker that I needed in the ranks because I've only got Chris Martin up front. No, not that one. We then went away to Oldham in the Carabao Cup first round and I dropped as many players as I could and then found myself 2-0 down with 20 minutes left to play. Of course I hit the panic button and decided to send on my first teamers and we managed to pull it back to 2-2 and force a penalty shootout. However, Jan Valery missed his penalty and sent us crashing out the tournament. And despite going behind against Swansea, we managed to turn it around and go 2-1 up. But then Jed Steer got injured and then I had to send my 18-year-old in goal and then we conceded to once again lose 2 points. We then took on Southampton away and Chris Martin opened his account for the club with not just 1 goal but 2 goals away at the St Mary's. Alexa, play that track! But then they got a lucky goal and equalised and we drew 2-2. And to end the month, we then lost 2-0 at home to Norwich, so it's gone really well this month. Oh, sorry, did I say really well? I mean, Jamal Lowe's out for 5 months and Jed Steer's out for 3 months. Fuck! As we move into September, we've made a couple more signings to add to the ranks. Wanya Marcel joins us on loan for the rest of the season because Jamal Lowe is obviously injured and I need more strength on the wings. Nathan Wood joins us on loan from Southampton for the rest of the season. I mean, we're becoming the Southampton B team. This wasn't in the rules, was it? And finally, another defensive addition with Luke Chambers joining us on loan from Liverpool. Another left back to add to the ranks. We don't really have an actual left back at the moment. My first game of September saw us take on my beloved Portsmouth and we gave them their first 3 points of the season. I mean, I didn't do that on purpose. But I was criticised after the game by the fans for my lack of tactical knowledge. I mean, I asked my assistant manager before the game who to mark and he just had as much tactical knowledge as I did.
He has to go, blood.
But miracles do happen because after 8 league games, we finally got our first win of the season, beating QPR by 3-1 at home. Although, to be honest, when you're facing defending like that, no wonder you can win games. Newly promoted Wrexham were the next visitors to Hillsborough, and they went 2-0 up within 20 minutes, but some tactical changes by myself saw us pull it back to 2-2 and get another draw on the board. EK Ugbo then equalised away at Sheffield United in the Steel City derby, but we ended up losing by 2-1, and then I rested a lot of players for the away trip to Birmingham City, and we got spanked 3-0. There are starting to be rumours that we might get taken over, which would be great for the challenge, but then EK Ugbo got injured for 6 weeks, so that's another striker down. Honestly, why have I put myself through this? Now, despite us being above the relegation zone for most of the season so far and struggling to stay out of it, the board gave me a vote of confidence and said they are quite satisfied with how I'm doing at the moment at the helm. And I thought to myself, I could get on with this Stefan Chanziri guy. That was until he rejected the rumours that we were going to get taken over. Fuck this guy. We cannot beat him. We just cannot beat him. Moving into the games this month, we drew 0-0 away at Preston in the first game of the month, but then took on Ipswich away, and Barry Bannon managed to equalise with 17 minutes on the clock. But then we conceded again, and again, and again, and again, and again to lose 6-2 away from home. Fantastic. Also, Ipswich have Nico Gonzalez on loan from Man City. What the fuck are we doing here? Following on from that game, we entertained Blackburn at home and we got beaten by 3-1. Munir, the former Barcelona forward, scored twice against me. In the home game against Charlton, we managed to destroy them by 4-1. We actually scored all 4 of our goals within the first 30 minutes of the game. Absolutely destroyed them. But in the second half, absolutely nothing happened. There was a news article that came out that apparently if I didn't get a result against Watford away from home in the next game, I could lose my job. And Svante Ingolson gave us a 2-0 lead just before half time, thinking, I've got all 3 points in the bag here. That was until the second half where Watford scored 3 times and all those 3 points disappeared into the air. It can't go on like this, can it? Now, we start off in November with Chris Martin, no, not that one, promising that he will end his goal drought. It's currently at 16 games he hasn't scored in. You know what, just go and get the guitar, mate. Stoke City were the first visitors to Hillsborough in November, and Matteo Joseph scored a header to equalise in the second half as we managed to get a priceless point. Next up was an away trip to Hull City, and Steven Alzati scored twice as we got beaten by 2-1. Barry Bannon scored the pick of the goals as we destroyed the bottom of the table Millwall by 4-0, which took us out of the drop zone. It also saw a debut for 15-year-old Daniel Da Costa, who I've promoted from the under-18 team, mainly out of desperation, and he marked it in fantastic fashion by tearing his hamstring and putting himself out of action for 3 months. Following that Millwall win, we took on West Brom away from home and conceded with 10 minutes left on the clock to lose 1-0. The next trip was away at Oxford United, and after going in at half-time, 0-0, we then conceded 4 goals in the second half and got absolutely thumped. It also allowed me to break an EFL record as I sent on Kalen Cole Cadamartri, whose dad is Danny Cadamartri, who used to be a fantastic striker back in his day. He's 14 years old, and I gave him his debut in the 4-0 defeat against Oxford. So I've played a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old in the same month. I mean, I can already see the headlines about my greatness. We started off the month of December with a home game against Portsmouth and we got beaten by 3-0. Honestly, answers on a postcard about what Jed Steer's doing. Following that debacle, Mr. Chanziri then requested a meeting with me to discuss my future. I mean, they're still satisfied apparently with the job I'm doing. I did ask him to give me a month and I would turn the results around, which he agreed to. I have most definitely lied there. And then following that, we then took on Leicester at home and lost by 2-0, which made it 6 games in a row that we haven't scored a goal in. And I thought our run would continue when we went 2-0 down at half-time against QPR away from home. But an incredible 12-minute spell at the end of the game saw us turn it around with Matteo Joseph scoring twice as we managed to make it a 3-2 win away from home, which was our first away win of the season, by the way. It's only taken until mid-December to achieve that. More fantastic injury news is that Barry Bannon, who's on 20 grand a week, by the way, got injured for 3 months. 20 grand a week. I mean, I'm being serious. Matteo Joseph scored another 2 goals to add to his season total by scoring against Sheffield United in the Steel City derby, but we lost 5-2 at home. Taking on Hollywood FC after that, we went 1-0 up again through Matteo Joseph, but then Liam Palmer made this mistake and gave the ball straight to Ryan Hardy to equalise. I immediately sold him after the game. Nathaniel Chalobah, who was filling in for Barry Bannon, scored a fantastic free kick to give us all 3 points away from home. Death taxes and Matteo Joseph scoring in December as he got another goal away at Preston, but we lost by 3-1. And then we ended the month against another Hollywood team, and this time we got all 3 points as we defeated Birmingham City by 3-2. And as we end the calendar year, this is what the table looks like after 30 games. We are currently 3 points above the drop zone, so we're not doing too badly in comparison, but I'm sure a lot of clowns out there who are watching this video are hoping for a Sheffield Wednesday crumble to have for their dessert tonight. Viewers, you can carry on watching, but it's not going to happen. I'm a changed man these days. We started off the new year with some fantastic news as Mateo Joseph finished second in Young Player of the Month. I mean, behind Nico Gonzalez. What on earth is he doing in this division? But I was looking forward with positivity. I thought this is going to be a fantastic month for us. Kicking off the month was an FA Cup third round tie at home to League 2 Bristol Rovers. And Bristol Rovers took the lead in the 15th minute and then proceeded to keep a clean sheet against us and knock us out of the tournament.
What is going on here?
Following that shock result, we took on Southampton at home and they battered us 4-0. Then it was away to Norwich City and we lost by 3-0. And finally, our last game of the month was away at the King Power Stadium against Leicester City and we lost by 3-0 again. So we've conceded 11 goals in 1 month and didn't score a single one. I'll tell you what, that goal of the month competition is going to be really hard to pick from. Now, let me announce some signings to lift the mood a little bit. Scott Dan has joined us on a free transfer. I needed some experience in the back line, and he was also the only player that would allow me to pay him £1,000 a week. Johnny Howson also joins us on a free transfer. I mean, he left Middlesbrough in the summer and I just need some experience again in the midfield. And lastly, we've signed Alexander Schwallow on a deal until the end of the season. He's just left Union Berlin and again, brings some experience to the back line. I mean, it's all about experience at the moment. And for any of the viewers who are saying, Proudie, you're just creating a retirement home, mate. Yeah, I would direct your abuse to Mr. Chanziri because he won't give me any more funds than I've got at the moment. Although he has just said that I've improved confidence that he's going to keep me in the job. You really have to wonder, haven't the Sheffield Wednesday fans suffered enough already? We got to deadline day and Leicester and Liverpool recalled both Wanya Marçal and Luke Chambers respectively. Cheers lads, not like I'm already struggling for players as it is already. However, it did allow me to bring in 2 players in on deadline day on loan. First of all, joining us is Josh Lauren from Burnley for the rest of the season, and he's a very good centre midfielder, will solidify that midfield and is also not about to get his freedom pass. And joining us is Keshi Anderson, who becomes the Wanya Marçal replacement. Plays on the left wing, has got a good amount of pace. He's basically just not an OAP as well. Jed Steers also out for the rest of the season, which means I'm now stuck with the goalkeeper I haven't yet played and is not match fit, and an 18-year-old who's also been out injured. Chanziri will be seeing me in hell. Marvin Johnson scored the only goal of the game as we defeated Coventry in the first game of February. Tabletop-in Ipswich Town were the next visitors to us and they destroyed us 4-0. What is the point in playing them? Blackburn were away next and we got beaten by 1-0 in a game we probably should have won. And in a huge relegation 6-pointer, we defeated Charlton away at the Valley by 2-1. I mean, they gifted us a goal which won us the game. Cheers, mate. Now, this is the state of play with 9 games left of the season, and this is actually quite surprising that we're 5 points above the drop zone, considering the amount of injuries I've had, the lack of money, and the fact that I'm only signing League 2 standard players. But the only team that we've got left to play in this graphic is Swansea City, which means that the rest of the games are actually quite difficult. This is going to the wire, isn't it? I just can't wait to get relegated. For those that are still part of the Chris Martin, no not that one, fan club, he's out for 4 weeks with a pulled calf muscle. I mean, I haven't even played him for about 3 months now. Mr. Chanziri also injected £170,000 to help with the club's running costs, which has done absolutely fuck all for the finances. The first match of March saw us entertain Watford at home, and it was a tale of 2 goalkeepers, as Watford's goalkeeper just completely shat the bed, while our goalkeeper saved the penalty and basically won us the game. Also, Mateo Joseph scored a perfect hat-trick in this match as well. I'll tell you what, I don't know how I feel about having a goalkeeper with a last name Schwallow. I really should go and call her. The following home game was against Derby County, but we lost by 2-1, but Tyler Diblin did open his account for the season. And after Barry Bannon made his return and equalised away at Middlesbrough, we didn't concede just 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 goals in the second half. Christ almighty, I don't even know what we do in training half the time. But we did end the month on a good note with a 2-1 win over second place Bristol City. We were 1-0 down in the first half, but Mateo Joseph again. What more can I say?
That's why he's the GOAT!
Now the rumours within the boardroom is that Chanziri wants to step aside and promote some from within. Wait, do you mean there's someone worse that could come in charge? Bloody hell. With only 5 league games left of the season, we are currently 9 points above the drop zone, and we do have Swansea next, followed by Millwall away, which means that one win out of those 2 games will pretty much secure survival. And things started off really well away at Swansea as Keshi Anderson opened his account for the club with a fantastic strike from the edge of the box. But of course, the Proudie curse came into effect when Eom Ji-sung scored twice for Swansea to turn it around for them and give them all 3 points. Bottom of the league. They are bottom of the league and basically relegated, and we lost to them. And to couple with that defeat, Preston North End beat Pompey in the last minute of the game. Great. It's alright though, because we had Millwall away next, and after going a goal down in the first half, we then allowed them to score second and beat us 2-1. Preston North End won again, by the way, which meant that our gap to the relegation zone has been cut from 9 points to 4 points. We're going to bottle it, aren't we? We're just going to bottle this.
These fucking assholes!
It was West Brom away next, and I thought we had the dream start as Keshi Anderson put us ahead after 7 minutes, but the goal was chalked off offside. After 20 minutes, Jamal Lowe then dribbled round a few players and then fired the ball into the back of the net, but once again the goal was called off for offside. Whilst over in Bristol City, Preston North End went 2-0 down, which meant that if we managed to get 3 points against West Brom, we would stay up. Then it was fantastic timing that Alex Moat then gave West Brom the lead. You know what, if you've made it this far, just don't do the save. Just save yourself the hassle. But when all seems lost, there is only one man to rely on, and Mateo Joseph managed to get us back on level terms. During the same time, Preston then went 4-0 down away at Bristol City, and just when I thought the game was coming to a close, Darnell Furlong made this mistake, Mateo Joseph pounced, gave us all the 3 points, and we're staying up. It was never really in doubt, lads. It was never really in doubt. Like, I knew I was going to succeed in this challenge. There were times this team tested me, but overall, I think that was quite a successful year. Although I should probably tell you about the last 2 games of the season before we carry on. Jamal Lowe scored from the penalty spot as we got a 1-1 draw away at Stoke City. And do you remember earlier in the video when I talked about the 15-year-old and 14-year-old that I played earlier this season? Well, they scored a goal each in our last game of the season against Oxford United where we won 2-1. You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now. And finally, I was also given a news article about planning for next season. They're having a laugh, aren't they?
You can if you like, but I won't be there.
But is there any final thoughts before I end the video? Yeah, fuck Chanziri, and I hope Sheffield Wednesday manage to get themselves out of trouble.